Coming up on this edition of Cogeco News, a delay for the new location for the low barrier shelter, another virtual fundraiser we preview, and yes, some sports still alive and kicking. Hello again, everybody. Welcome to this Wednesday edition of Cogeco News. I am Greg Esterbrooks. First, this evening, the Ontario Provincial Police seeking the public's assistance in locating a missing person. 21-year-old Michael Morrison Love was last seen on Tuesday at Samuel de Champlain Provincial Park, which is west of Mattawa. Morrison Love is described as being thin, 5'11", 134 pounds, red hair with some facial scruff. At the time of his disappearance, he was carrying a yellow backpack, and authorities say he may be wearing an orange hoodie. If you have any information on this missing person, you are urged to contact the OPP at 1-800-310-1122. A delay with the building permit has delayed the opening of the low barrier shelter on Chippewa. The overnight shelter at the Pete Pelangio Arena on Wallace Road will remain open until at least August 9th now. Clark Heipel has the latest.
The initial opening date of August 1st for the low barrier shelter has been pushed back by more than a week. August 9th is the new date.
There certainly is some renovation work that's required on the trailers that you can see behind us. At this particular point, we're just working through the developers working through the logistics of building permits. Building permits are pretty onerous, and it takes time to make that happen.
Once the low barrier shelter is open, it is unlikely the capacity will accommodate those needing the service.
Well, at this particular point, the capacity is 12. That's because of the COVID issue, that's created capacity issues. We know full well, there is going to be, I suspect there will be an overflow problem that we'll have to face. There are plans in the works right now to increase the number of trailers on site. I would hope, September, October, that capacity issue would be solved.
In the meantime, over the past several weeks, Pete Pelangio has been open for evenings for nighttime use for those folks needing the location to rest. However, there are concerns that people are there throughout the day when the facility is closed. What, if anything, is being done to rectify that situation?
Well, Clark, I don't know whether there's much that can be done. I was called yesterday by other news media talking about that issue, and it is a public space. I know that's taking place. Hopefully, once we get everything moved over to this location, that will solve that particular problem.
The Barclay House is just to the north here of this location. What discussions are being had with the exec there to make sure everything's kind of checked and balanced, to make sure that this location doesn't impede what's happening over there?
Yeah, and certainly I personally have had discussions with the executive director there about close proximity of this operation and how close it is to Barclay House. We will have a meeting after the 10th of August with them to discuss a number of their concerns and try and alleviate those concerns.
Monday afternoon, North Bay Police responded to a report of a man exposing himself at a waterfront area in the city. This investigation led to an arrest. 30-year-old Sandus Cataqua Pitt of North Bay is charged with 1 count of sexual assault, 1 count of an indecent act. The suspect was reported to be making inappropriate contact with a young female, kissing and touching inappropriately. The alleged victim and her friend went to their parents, who contacted police. The accused continued, police say, to another area on the waterfront where he exposed himself to a group of adults. He then walked to a treed area near more adults where police say he began masturbating. The accused was later located nearby, where he was arrested by police and remains in custody. Canada College has decided to end its relationship with the We charity. The college was planning to maintain its affiliation with We Schools, but it says the ongoing negative attention around the charity has forced the change of direction. Canadore and the Canadore Students' Council launched We Canadore back in 2007. Canadore says it will now embark on a new leadership training program for students. The annual Run for the Cure fundraiser is joining a long list of events going virtual. The breast cancer fundraiser isn't until October, but it's never too early to let people know about it and the changes for 2020.
For the first time in the history of the CIBC Run for the Cure in North Bay, the day of the run will be done virtually. No large gathering at the waterfront this October in the fight against breast cancer. Organizers still hoping for a large turnout of participants as well as fundraising dollars.
We want you to register and sign up and get your teams together and raise your dollars. The event itself will be online. As a participant, you'll be given a password and a site to log into, and the virtual event will be very similar in scope and feeling to a run day here locally.
How do you keep people engaged knowing that you're not going to have the face-to-face on the day of?
It's really been a new challenge for us to consider how to reach out to the community without being able to get closer than 6 feet to them. So we're using our online platforms much more and in newer and more fun ways, really. We can't do things like spaghetti dinners and farmers markets the way we would have.
Has the fundraising goal changed?
Technically, yes. However, we are just looking to be successful and engage our community. Every dollar counts.
This is a very emotional cause. So many people have been affected, whether in family or through friends. And the emotion of the event, you're hoping to keep that emotion and really let that drive people to fundraise to help find a cure to breast cancer.
Absolutely. So we're taking the opportunity to use our social media and engage survivors and their families locally. We'll be expanding to interview and share stories of our local survivors to promote the emotion of the event. We're hoping that come run day, you'll get together with your friends and loved ones, your reason for running, and share that time.
The volunteer committee is made up of really energetic women and one man. Tell us about the reasons behind the young women getting involved and really leading the fight.
So there's a dozen of us, and we all sort of have a different reason. Some of us joined because it was a corporate experience. Most of the gals have an underlying reason. We've got a couple of survivors with us. I think that we're a really dynamic group. It's been really fantastic to work with them the last couple of years. We've really developed strong friendships, and we're all committed to the same goals.
How do people get involved, whether or not perhaps volunteering or most importantly, getting a team going and fundraising?
Absolutely. So you're going to register online at cibcrunforthecure.org. You're going to choose North Bay as your location and register. You can make a team or join an existing team or register as an individual.
This year's virtual Run for the Cure is on Sunday, October 4th. Reporting for Cogeco News, I'm Clark Heipel.
Now, I shouldn't be doing this, but Clark and I should do a virtual dance-off fundraiser as I look over at Mr. Heipel. We'll discuss that further. Breakdown was right here in Cogeco News. When we come back, an update on, yes, the ski hill, and also it's Wild Wednesday. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody. Well, skiing may be the last thing on most people's minds. Well, not if you're Cam Graham, but it's still very busy up at the Laurentian Hill right now. The Ski Hill Snowboarding Club is continuing major construction on numerous areas of the ski hill all summer long and fall to reduce snowmaking costs and improve skiable areas. That is great news, but there is a little side issue that needs to be dealt with as well. Obviously, this is the off season for the Laurentian Ski Hill, but there is a lot of work going on, a lot of construction all over the place on the hill to reduce snowmaking costs and improve skiable areas and boost some new runs they've put in.
The most obvious one, and we did open it partly last year, but we didn't get it finished because of weather and some other issues, but was the new run, which we of course got going, and it was incredibly successful last year. I think it was like a freeway at times. It was well attended, let's just say. But part of this project is, burying our culverts and trying to make sure that we get the water runoff that eats away our snow that we spend money to produce, of course. Terrain park, we've added a whole bunch of fill, and now we've de-stumped that new run. And taken a lot of rock. We're actually trying to change it from being this sloped to being more, which will take less snow when we snowmake on it. Last fall was very wet, and we literally couldn't drive machines up that hill. So this year, with it being dry, the guys from Canor came in, did a great job. So and we've done pretty good work on that hill now. So there's still a bit more to do. We still need to seed it. We're going to wait till September to seed it, and we put a whole bunch of straw. It's loose. We're trying to get a lot of rocks out of there. It's still pretty uneven ground.
But that ground is very busy in the summer months with people who like to hike, people who like to extend themselves physically through exercise. But Graham says they shouldn't be around those areas because of all the construction equipment. But yet they still are.
We have fantastic trails at the top of the hill that we call the Leak or Laurentian Escarpment Trails. They're run by the Conservation Authority, who actually owns the property that we're on. Laurentian Ski Hill, we rent off the CA. But that said, we still are seeing many people on the hill. And I don't think that'll ever completely stop. It's not like we police it, but we're asking you to stay off these areas where there's construction. The ground is not really solid. We are planning to seed that fairly soon. And truthfully, we're still going to have heavy equipment on the hill, and we would like people away from that heavy equipment.
It's the last Wednesday of the month, and that cues us up for a great tradition here at Cogeco, your TV, another edition of Wild Wednesday for July's episode. We find Clark Heupel on location in Bonfield.
Hard to believe it is the end of July. The sun is shining, the sky is bright, and we are out here at Bonfield's Reptile Adventure Camp. Please be joined by Steve Featherstone. As you saw on Tuesday's edition of Cogeco News, camps are back up and running. And today, Steve has a baby green anaconda. Steve, tell us about this creature, which is getting used to being handled from what I hear.
Yeah, we're putting a bit of time in. We used to have Julius Squeezer. I believe you did a segment with him. It was a very large anaconda, about 13 or 14 feet, and about 120 pounds. Passed away, old age, 24 years old. This is kind of the predecessor. So this is a younger anaconda that we're trying to raise up and trying to handle and get him used to doing some shows.
Now, was this creature born at the shelter?
This one was actually born at a zoo, so he's on like an educational loan. So he's ours permanently, unless there's a time where we can no longer take care of him. But we're fully committed to this animal. This is a female, so this one's going to get quite a bit larger as well. So we're hoping for big things from her. But she's still a little bit grumpy every once in a while. So we're just putting the time in and handling her and getting her used to being picked up and helping her feel secure and safe.
Now, when you say committed, that has plenty of connotations to it. That's time, that's size, and that's natural habitat that this animal needs to have, space.
Yeah.
Tell us about all that.
Yeah, for sure. So right now, this animal's in like a 9 foot by 3 foot enclosure with another anaconda, same size. But as they get bigger, they're going to need a full-size room with a full-size pond, like a half aquatic and half land. So these guys are going to need a lot of area.
We've been doing at least a year of these Wild Wednesdays, and part of its education, we want people to know that these guys as pets is not a good idea. Are you seeing that message get out to the public, and people are kind of shying away from getting these guys as pets?
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing this for about 20 years now, and we did a really good job when we first started because it wasn't really that mandated, right? So when I first started doing this, a lot of people had green iguanas and they got tired of their green iguanas, or red ear sliders and they got too big. Burmese pythons are another example, but now the hobby has kind of changed, and now you're getting people that are getting reticulated pythons or rock pythons, different animals, right? So everything comes full circle.
Will this animal be used at camps in the coming months if the personality develops properly?
Yeah, we're using them now. So she comes out and meets the kids, and we just do it in a controlled setting, and we make sure that she feels as secure as possible, and the kids are obviously at a safe distance. But the kids can learn from her. They can touch her. We can orientate her body so that the kids have access to the tail and not access to the head, and that's how it starts, right? It just starts with building up that trust with the animal. Once this animal starts to feel secure with us and secure being off of the ground and safe, then she'll fit right in with our programs.
If somebody's interested in joining a camp or a tour, what should they do?
Usually most people contact us on Facebook. We're pretty relevant there, and we answer all the questions very quickly. Sometimes cell reception isn't the greatest, and we're super busy during the summer, so sometimes getting us on the phone is a little bit difficult. Email works too, but Facebook is our preferred.
And we'll be back here for August's edition of Wild Wednesdays. And when I hear you're a Baltimore Orioles fan, so this could be interesting.
I was for a little tiny bit. I'm not a diehard like you. I've liked some players over the years.
That's a little bit of a tease to August's edition of Wild Wednesday. Join us once again the last Wednesday of every month. Thanks, Steve.
Perfect. Thank you.
I'm glad that Steve came to his senses there when it comes to baseball. Mr. Heupel has an extended weather forecast for you right after this.
Weather is brought to you by Canadore College. Great things happen here.
Some spectacular cloud formations on this Wednesday. Welcome back to Cogeco News. I'm Clark Heupel here in Lee Park. I am here for your 5-day weather forecast brought to you by Canadore College. We have a couple of things to get to. First, we start with the unfortunate news of vandalism along the Kate Paceway. These photos posted by a Cogeco News viewer. Just disgusting. That's the only way to put it. Defacing public property with vile language, and it just makes more work for city crews to remove it. The mayor, North Bay Mayor Al McDonald, has been notified, and he has directed city crews to clean this stuff up. So if you do witness someone vandalizing, call the city right away. You can call police as well to hopefully catch the perpetrators in progress of committing that crime of vandalism. Secondly, on this Wednesday, you may notice no smoking in parks. New signage being posted, and this is above and beyond the Smoke-Free Ontario Act. It is against City of North Bay bylaws to smoke any part of a public park. and you'll see signs warning users of that. I contacted Gord Young at the Communications Department in the City of North Bay to ask how this will be enforced, and he's hoping for positive enforcement and education before bylaw officers have to respond. And if bylaw officers do respond, they'll typically issue a warning, and then if need be, they will place tickets to stop smoking in public parks. Lastly, you may have noticed over the past couple weeks, the Union Jack flag has been missing from Lee Park. One of the flagpoles had been taken down following the flags being lowered to half-mast in memory of Lou Gagne's passing. And when that Union Jack was lowered, a malfunction was noted on that flagpole. It has since been put back, and the flags are now flying at full mast, all 4 flags flying in Lee Park. Let's take a look at that 5-day forecast to see how nice it will be heading into the August long weekend. Venturing overnight on this Wednesday night, we have a low of 14 degrees in store. Risk of a thunderstorm once again for the 3rd straight night. On Thursday, the 30th of July, we're going to have another humid day, high 23, humidex making it feel closer to 30. Risk of a thunderstorm as well as showers. Overnight Thursday night, the skies clear somewhat and a low of 15 comfortable degrees. On Friday, the last day of July in 2020, we're going to have sunny, beautiful sky. 25 for the high, 16 for the low. Clear skies overnight. The stars will be dancing on Friday night. The 1st of August, hot. High 27, low 16 with sun. That is the Saturday of the August long weekend. And Sunday, rain in store at this point. 24 and 15 for the high and low. Clouds, chance of showers. And the Monday is Civic Holiday Monday. Looking back at the almanac, on Tuesday we had a high of 25 and a low of 14. That's just about normal for this time of year. As we see, it is 25 and 14 for the normal high and low. There you have it. There is your 5-day weather picture. My best buddy in the news business, Greg Esterbrooks, will have your sportscast, and we're talking more racket sports right after this.
Sports is brought to you by Tag Construction for all your construction needs.
Welcome back, everybody. The indoor at the Granite Club, or indoors at the Granite Club, remains a busy place, ice or no ice. Right now, the first of several badminton camps is underway. These players, mostly this weekend, are novice players getting some training to enhance their skill and to determine if the sport is for them.
Typically with these camps we get a mix of both. Nothing too advanced or experienced, but everyone's either never played or has played a little bit before. Ultimately, everyone kind of gets paired up, especially in a big group like this. Everyone kind of gets a partner that they're similar, maybe they're friends or a similar skill level. And then from there, a lot of the drills are self-run, where I'm kind of walking around and helping out. But they're usually pretty capable at running a lot of things on their own.
And they're going to have to because Templeman's Platt is more or less coaching this clinic by himself.
Usually I ask a lot of the more experienced kids to come out and just get some volunteer hours and help out that way. Just it's a bit of a busy week this week for some of them, so can't get them out necessarily.
And when he does that, what are the key things he tries to pass on to the novices?
Top two are always having a good grip so that no matter, even if they're hitting it with the wrong technique, their base grip foundation is really good. And then after that's footwork, which is everyone's least favorite thing to do. So it becomes difficult to do a lot at a camp like this, but we do a bit. And, if you take away, you do. And if you don't, you don't. It's kind of just dependent on your interest at that point, right?
Kids this young can sometimes learn very quickly and can improve a lot, even in a 1-week camp.
For sure. Like with a camp like this, it's usually a bit slower progress since it's kind of like the first time out for a lot of them. However, with a lot of our team programs, we see kids that are anywhere from 6 to 10 that come out and, training 4 hours a week for a year makes a really big difference very quickly.
Finally, a summer contest put on by YourTV/Cogeco. While summer may look a little different this year, ain't that the truth? Your TV wants you to share your summer. Head over to Your TV North Bay on Facebook and comment with a picture of what you are doing this summer. You could win a weekly prize pack or even a grand prize of $500 to support a local business. Remember to tag Share Your Summer. Good luck. I'll be back with more Cogeco News live at 5 on Thursday. We'll see you then.